Hello there, welcome to another episode of One-on-One with Aza TV. My name is Favor the Big Auntie and I am the host for the show. In case you don't know, this show is where you get to meet different personalities from different areas of life. Yes, politics, entertainment, arts, culture, and lots more. You'll meet them here. So stay tuned, like, share, and subscribe because we're bringing more and more episodes to you and you will not want to miss it. Trust me. On today's episode, I have someone I like to call an arts curator. He's a lover of photography and an advocate of social change. He's also the founder of one of Abuja's finest events. And this year, they will have their 9th edition. Ladies and gentlemen, no long talk. Welcome, Mr. Osaze Efe, the founder of Abuja Photo Festival. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so much, Favor.
I'm so happy. I'm so honored to have you seated here with me.
I'm honored too.
I know it's a busy week for you, planning for the upcoming Abuja Photo Festival, and you still found time to come sit here with me. I'm so
you summoned me now. So.
Even with the busy schedule, you still came. I'm so happy. Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
You know, on this show, I like to make it like a tradition that will do a brief introduction of my guest and give my guests the opportunity to introduce themselves, because I believe I cannot do the introduction you would do of yourself. So, quick one, can we meet you?
Thank you so much, Favor. You've met me. My name is Osaze Efe. I'm the founder and the curator of the Abuja International Photo Festival. I'm first a photographer before I'm the curator of the festival. But beyond the festival, beyond what I do as a photographer, I'm a human being. And thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here and look forward to the conversations we'll be having.
Thank you for coming. You know, the way you talk about photography as a tool for social change makes me wonder, have you always been a lover of photography or something pushed you into photography?
It's quite a journey. Back then in Benin, where I was born and did most of my early adult life, there was this guy who was the very first digital photographer, then called it Photoshop. It was later I got to know that Photoshop is actually a software.
Yes.
Lovely place. I happened to be a bit close to the guy. And so I would go there, I would see how he manipulates lights to create images. So I was a bit fascinated by that.
Okay.
Then I had another friend who was a brand designer. A brand design artist. Anybody he wants to do graphics design for, he will particularly ask them to go to Photoshop to take a picture. There's only pictures from Photoshop that he would use. So I was in that space. So during holidays, back then in Uniben, I would be in that space. And I started really getting curious about this. So my interest in photography, my interest in brand communication actually started in those days. Then after school, I came to Abuja, and incidentally, I had a relative who had a photo studio.
Oh, okay.
Then I was in that space, being a business person, not necessarily a photographer. So while I was there, I would fiddle with the camera and all of that. So I left that place, and when I left the studio, the only thing that I knew to do was to be taking pictures.
Yeah.
You know, then I would borrow cameras. Then I would, you know, just market myself, my skill and all of that. And gradually, I went fully into photography.
Wow.
And it just took off from there.
So it was the your friend that you were going to.
Yes, it was more circumstantial.
Oh, okay, that drew you into the world of photography.
Yes.
So how has your personal background shaped your perspective on using art as a tool for social change?
Okay, so there is something that I love. So even if I wasn't doing the photo festival, whatever it is I was doing, the fundamental principles would have still been the same. Which is, I just love to see people win.
Okay.
I love to see people rise. I love to see people maximize their full potential. I love to see people materialize their dreams. And back then in school, I had the notion of, I leave school, create something. I didn't know what it was going to be, whether I was going to be in tech, whether I was going to be in the arts, whether I was going to be in science, whether I was going to be...
But you studied art?
No, I studied agriculture.
Oh.
Yes, I studied agriculture,
Wow.
animal science.
That's nice.
So I just knew in my heart of hearts that I was meant to create something that others can use to move their life forward. I didn't know what it was. So I found myself doing the Abuja International Photo Festival, and the core, the essence of the photo festival is to serve as a platform where others can plug in and scale their craft and grow. And that's what inform everything we do. Just looking for how the place can be a platform for a lot of young people to move their life forward. And thankfully, in retrospect, after 9 years, I am my team.
You're actually making a lot of impact. Yeah. So let's talk about the Abuja Photo Festival. I can actually say welcome to the month of Abuja Photo Festival.
Actually, the plan is to call it Abuja Photography Month.
That's interesting. So we can say happy birthday when it starts, right? So what inspired you to create Abuja Photo Festival?
I saw Obisomto on TV advertising for then Etisalat. Okay, yes, it was Etisalat when they came before they became Nine Mobile.
Yes.
So I was watching this guy. He was taking pictures and talking about then I was like, who is this guy? Then of course I was just starting out.
Yes.
Of course in his very playful, loving self. I got fascinated by how do I meet this guy? I went to check him on Instagram and I saw that he has tens of thousands of followers, and I really don't have that. I don't like fighting for attention in whatever it is that I do.
Yes.
So I figured that this guy's going to be getting tens and hundreds of DMs.
Yes.
And I just figured, this is not the best way to be able to reach this guy. Then I had this thought too. There might be a whole lot of other young people who are looking to meet this Kelechi Amadi, T.Y. Bello, Obisomto, and all of these guys. And I figured, of course, I couldn't afford going to Lagos. Then I was just starting. I couldn't afford going to Lagos to meet these people. And I said, can't I create an event that will bring young people together to learn from each other, to meet each other? Because there are a whole lot of young people in photography who are in their spaces, which is typical of every creative, who are in their spaces. An event that will bring everybody together, more like somewhat of a Jerusalem or a Mecca of sorts, then bring these guys who have gone ahead to this place, so that these young people who, like me, couldn't afford going to Lagos, see these guys on Instagram, send them on TV, can meet with these mentors.
Like I met with Kelechi Amadi.
You met with Kelechi Amadi at the festival. So that was the idea, that we can create an event like this and bring these guys. That was what informed the festival. However, we did not know what we were getting ourselves into. Of course, we're going to speak about that as this conversation continues. But in retrospect, the core remained, but the festival has evolved. And that goal is being met. So, of course, we bring in the big names. And this year, we're going beyond Nigeria to the US and to the UK and other parts of Europe to bring these people. I
feel like giving a round of applause.
To bring these people we see on Instagram, we read and, about online, to meet the Nigerian young people and Nigerian young people to also meet. Incidentally, they are also looking forward to giving back, connecting with the younger energy, with the young, energetic young people. So the festival has just afforded that space for growth, for progress, for connectivity, and for community.
So starting up, you said you were just starting and you went to Instagram, you saw Somto's Instagram and you were like, this is not the best way to reach it. How were you able to gather those top people? I keep wondering, for someone who just started, because how were you able to gather those top photographers, top creatives to come to Abuja Photo Festival?
If you don't ask, you don't get.
That's deep. Like
so the principle is, if you don't ask, you lose 100%. But if you ask, there's a 50% chance that you will get.
Yes.
And it's simple. These veterans, the photography has been very kind to them. Life has been very kind to them. They've remained in good health and they've built a career out of photography. These are people who are looking for opportunities to give back on two levels. First, to shine the light on the part of those coming after them, because they had people who came before them.
Yes.
So they want to shine the light on the part of those that are coming, so that the people who are coming can practice this thing well. Because there are a lot of mispractice,
Yes.
bad practice of the art of photography in Nigeria and of course in other parts of the world. So these guys are looking for ways to come and give advice, share experience, and help these young people not make the kind of mistakes they made. But beyond that, these guys are looking for reputable, honest spaces they can share.
So you saw the idea.
So yes, we were able to see, look at what we are building. And most importantly, we brought honesty.
Yes.
We brought openness. We brought sincerity to them. And we said, this is who we are. This is what we've done. This is what we want to achieve. How can you help us? Some of them, I never met them. Some of them, a friend, spoke to a friend. Fight for some, just saw their number and then I called and I said, look at what we're doing. I said, okay, book my flight and I'll be there.
That's
somebody like Hakim Salam, great mentor. George Osodi, great mentor. Andre Sibo, great mentor. Just a phone call. They said, okay, if you're serious, we'll be serious with you too.
That's actually a nice one. So if you don't ask,
you don't get.
You don't get. That's what I'm going to take home today. So since 2017, that was when Abuja Photo Festival started, right? And having worked with over 3,000 young creative, what has been the most rewarding part of the journey for you?
First, to see that during the festival, how inspiration is just flowing. Okay, so you sit in the hall and you're hearing people speak. So we also don't just bring these big names. We also get the younger guys who are also early verses in the industry, a platform, because we also need to build and inspire self-confidence in them. So imagine you sharing a stage with T.Y. Bello. It's going to impact on your confidence.
Actually.
And imagine exhibiting your work side by side with Andre Sebo, George Osodi. It's going to inspire confidence in you. So what we do is to see how we create that space for that connectivity. And during the festival, we see the faces of people get lit up. We see people write on Instagram what they took away from the class. And that's very gratifying to see that our work matters. But after the festival, what happens next? We see a couple of them take what they learned at the festival and actually run with it. And we have seen their careers gone so up. So I look at the work, I see the life of these young people, and I'm very happy that my life actually mattered in contributing to how the life of these people. And of course, we've maintained relationship. And we've been in touch. So that's so satisfying to see and know that your life is contributing to the success story of another person, whether a photo festival or you are selling building material.
Can you share a success story? Because you said so many people have benefited from this opportunity. Can you share a success story of one of the creatives, any one of the creatives that has grown through the opportunity provided by the festival?
Okay, so I will cite an individual and I'll cite a business. There's a business I met a couple of days ago, and I did not even know that it was from the photo festival that company started. So a couple of them, John Peter Zanyawo, Adeshagun, trying to remember his last name, call him Gfash. We're together on Sunday. 3 of them, I'm trying to remember the name of some of yourself.
Of course.
On Friday last week, I was at Area 10. And looking at the number of images that have been submitted for the festival, we selected them for the exhibition and all of that. And looking to do a couple of productions from Lagos. But I remember that there was these guys in Area 10 who frame so well. So I walked into their shop. It's Frames That Fit. That's the name of the company. And I walked in to see what they were doing. I've always seen them on Instagram, and I saw that they're doing a great job. I've never met him. There was a time one of the embassies reached out that they want to frame some works. So because I've seen what he does on Instagram, how precise he really is with his work, I recommended him. He had never met me, only on the phone. So he saw me, and all he kept saying was, Abuja Photo Festival, don't come and shop. Abuja Photo Festival, don't come and shop. And I was like, I can't remember your face. He said he knows me very well. he said, this company, I was surprised. I actually thought he was a corner shop. That was my assumption. Only for me to find out that it's actually 2 shops collapsed into one. With his boys working and everything in this space. And he said, see, everything I'm doing today started from Abuja Photo Festival. This company started from Abuja Photo Festival. Wow. He said after his NYSC, he was walking past one place like that, close to ICC, and he saw people doing a photo festival. He just walked in. He wasn't even a photographer. He walked in. And George Okoro was presenting. George Okoro was talking. He said he sat in the hall, listened to George Okoro. He was inspired. Went into George Okoro's DM and sent George Okoro a message. George Okoro invited him over and employed him.
Wow.
And he said he worked with George Okoro for 3 years. And you, of course, you know George Okoro is an exquisite gentleman, fine gentleman, a businessman. Working with him will definitely shift mindset. So he said, after working for George Okoro, he was the one George was sending to UTC for framing for their clients. While he was there, he said he saw that this thing that people are doing, I can actually do it. Then he left George Okoro to start his company.
Wow.
And look at where he is today. Simply by walking past and seeing, let me go and see what they're doing at the photo festival. That has led to having a company of his own, taking care of himself, paying salary of his staff, and taking care of his family. So if we did not do Abuja Photo Festival, there might be a possibility that that relationship he had with Mr. George probably wouldn't have been, and probably wouldn't have been where he is today. So when we hear stories like this is aside the individuals, those names I just called, who are shooting for United Nations, who are shooting for international NGOs, who came into the photo festival in 2017, not knowing what to do with their life. One of them just dourly got married, I think early this year or late last year. John Peters is planning to get married. And the only work these guys do is photography. And the inspiration, the idea came from Abuja International Photo Festival. Somebody like Mayor Otu. Mayor Otu started his career practically at the Abuja International Photo Festival in 2017. He saw it, came in with night bus from Uyo. For the first time, he was coming for such a scale of an event. After coming for the photo festival, he said he wasn't going back to Uyo. He went to Lagos. And of course, that's a success story. You know, so that's just a lot within Abuja and outside Abuja. Those are the ones we know. You know, those are the ones we know. So there are a lot of others that we don't even know. You know,
Hearing all these stories want to make you do more and more and more. It's actually a very rewarding part of the journey. I can imagine the joy you felt when you heard the story of the
we're doing a documentary on the guy.
Wow.
So I've told my media guys that we're going to do a documentary on him. We already reached out to George Okoro to also cross-check what the guy said. And George said he worked with me, and I'll be happy to be part of the documentary. Because we need to amplify these stories during the festival.
I told you that Abuja Photo Festival is one of the biggest festivals in Abuja.
Thank you.
One of the biggest and finest. So we see people coming from different parts of the world, not just Nigeria. Last time
Belgium.
Sweden, and so many people from different parts of the world. When I say world, not just Nigeria. And you also travel outside. You've met foreign creatives like yourself. You attended the IVLP program in USA. That was in 2022. How did that experience change your outlook for art and cultural exchange?
The experience was quite a very good one. So when you're doing stuff, you know, you feel you're cool. Then you go into spaces where people are doing 100 times more than what you're doing. It just stretches your mind and let you see what's possible. So going to the US in 2022, we walked into museums, we walked into galleries, we met with artists, we met with academia who are in the art space. It just shaped my mind. But at the heart of all of that, what I took away from the US trip was the role of photography in being a force to make the world a better place. The first response as Africans is survival. Many young people pick up the camera to survive.
Actually.
Fine and good. The legendary Dayo Adedayo said, in our generation, we left banking, we left oil and gas to pick up the camera. But the young people of today would drop their camera to jump into banking and to move into oil and gas. Passion and survivor, you know. So when I got to the US, I saw how they were using photography as a tool for social change, how they were using it as a voice to speak to issues, to speak to social issues, to speak to, for example, food scarcity, for example, to speak to open defecation, to speak to lack of water, to speak to poor infrastructure, but also not just the negative narratives, but to amplify what is working, to celebrate individuals who are leading change in the society. That further reinforced my belief in what we do and added that to the program design of the festival. So as much as in the festival we have sessions on wedding photography, portrait photography, but we are very big on, you know, visual storytelling as a tool for social change. But beyond that, to see how artists, to see how photographers can begin to build a sustainable career, because sustainable career is still part of social change. So we bring in things like conversations around intellectual property. We bring conversations around how to market yourself and your services, how to understand copyright laws as a creative. So all of these were informed by that trip. But beyond the IVLP trip in 2022, I've attended a British Council training. That was focused, and even go to that was focused around how photography and documentary filmmaking can amplify cultural conversations. Because culture clash is one of the things that heightens the polity and make it, you know, it's one of, when you don't understand my culture and I don't understand others, that misunderstanding will create chaos. So their own training was around how photography can be a tool to foster peace and harmony across cultures. Then last month, I just came back from South Korea on a 2-week training, and that exchange program was the convergence of artificial intelligence, new media, VR, AI, on promoting the art. So it's been quite of, you know, an end-to-end experience in the past, I think about 3-4 years now. So there's the one for social change in the US, the one for culture with the Goethe Institute and the British Council, and this recent one in South Korea that has to do with the AI and new technology and the art. So all of this has informed what we are doing at the festival.
This 9th edition is going to be mind-blowing.
Oh yes, it should be.
You had more entries than last year?
Yes, entries onto levels. Number of people who have registered, that's at early hours of this morning when we checked, almost hitting 1,005 who have registered. Then the number of entries for exhibition this year has been unprecedented. We've had almost 200 people submitting images for exhibition, the highest, and I dare say, in a photography event in Nigeria. However, of this about 200 images, people rather, not images, we have almost 1,000 images, because of course people, one person will submit up to like 3, 4, 5. We've been able to trim down the images to about 50 artists who will be exhibiting India, Bangladesh, Russia, France, Italy, Spain, Tanzania, Cote d'Ivoire, of course, Nigeria. You know, so we have images from all of these. For us, it's quite interesting because this ties very well into the theme for this year, which is a world connected.
Yes.
You know, so we were like, okay, the theme for this year is pulling images really, because the festival is going to be a world connected, you know, images from different parts of the world being shown.
So engaging with about 26 different countries, how important do you think cross-cultural collaboration is in building sustainable creative industries? So
I usually use this analogy. Enyimba is great in Nigeria, but when serious football conversations are being had, you call Real Madrid.
Yes.
You call
Liverpool.
Liverpool. You call, that's your club.
Actually, I don't have anyone.
You know, but at that Champions League level,
Yes.
you know, when serious conversations that we had, conquering Nigeria, conquering Africa is great. But the big conversations at the global level, you know, somebody said, if the people who consume your products are within your locality, then you still are not there yet. People should be able to see what you produce in Nigeria and consume it in the streets of France, and the streets of the United States, you know, in Japan. That's when you know that, you know, you are in the game. Cross-cultural collaboration is it. Nigerian artists, all the countries I've visited, what I've always asked them is this: how do we get Nigerian artists' images in your spaces? We've conquered Abuja, we've conquered Lagos, we've conquered Nigeria. But if the photographer in Tokyo, if the photographer in Seoul, if the photographer in Lisbon is not looking to collaborate with you, are we there yet? A senior photographer once told me, he said, everything that you have seen me and my contemporary, I mean, this is a very senior guy, everything you have seen us done, we are still scratching the surface of photography in Nigeria. And I agree. So when you look at, so I study a lot of festivals, website. I study a lot of, a lot of festivals. And I look at the jury, their board of jury and their list of exhibiting artists. It's rare, very, very rare to see a black face there. To see somebody of our skin color there. Until we start entering those spaces. And what will bring us into those spaces is cross-cultural collaboration. I belong to a group of international festival organizers across the world, headquartered in Spain. They have photo festivals from across the world. They released a report of photo festival across the world, I think it was about 2 months ago. I read it and I saw that, I had mixed feelings. I saw that Africa still has a long way to go. But however, that long way to go is an opportunity because it shows that we are the future. You know, so for me, it gave me that mixed feeling. And that has started getting me to think about, okay, so don't just preach cross-cultural collaboration to the artist you mentor, but also do that. So what stops Abuja International Photo Festival from having a photo festival? It doesn't have to be the Abuja International Photo, but a festival that holds in Africa, in West Africa, and other parts of Africa, Europe, US, Asia. One big event where artists from all of these countries and continents can do an exhibition across. Those are the kind of thinking. So it is critical. And being intentional as an artist, being intentional in reaching out is what will put your leg at the door and that will lead to a whole lot of opportunities.
So it's actually very important to have the cross-cultural.
Very, very, very important. Otherwise, we'll die small.
Compared to the countries you've been to, do you think we are doing well in the Nigerian creative space?
Yes, we are. The need to survive in Nigeria will get you creative.
Actually, it will actually to bring out that creativity.
Yes, yeah, because you're negotiating survival. It will make you stay creative, and that is important. I love young people who show zeal and passion for their work. That need to survive discourages some and encourage and empower some. The one it empowers, go out to do personal projects. Those personal projects are your proof of capacity to be taken seriously by the international organizations who would employ you to shoot for them, and that will lead to economic opportunities.
Yes.
So the country that we are in, it's just a matter of flipping the mindset. Are you seeing the glass half full or half empty? So to look at what the realities are. So for example, like I cited fuel queue.
Yes.
that should inspire a photographer to say, you know what are the alternative source of energy that I can document? How is the single mom whose family's livelihood is dependent on the grinding machine? So she has to go and find a way to struggle to buy fuel of, let's say, 500 naira to put in the grinding machine to blend for her customers to be able to have money to feed the family. That's the story there.
Yeah.
I don't have to be commissioned to do that. The reality of Nigeria fuel issue has inspired me to see a story that I can document that becomes a material to both tell that woman's story to attract intervention to her experiences, and also a material for me to scale my career. So it creates a win-win, which is actually the essence of photography. It's not just you're going to steal a story of people and use it to move your life and sell forward and leave the people behind. That's a conversation for another day. So where we are as a country. So I was working on the exhibition catalog last week, and internet was an issue because we need to download some fonts, download some things to be able to, do the design and all of that. I and Lukman, one of the guys who's been designing for the photo festival from the very beginning, we were struggling. And I was thinking, this is what the average Nigerian goes through, average Nigerian young person goes through. Imagine giving good internet, giving good electricity to this guy, what he can create. So these are stories that should be documented. And documenting this story helps us push our craft forward as storytellers. And you never can tell where that leads to.
In photography, what role do you see it play in shaping narratives about the Nigerian and Africa as a whole?
We have to first own our story. All the countries I've been to, they have people struggling. I and a friend, took the subway in one of the countries that we went to. Beautiful city, like beautiful city. We went to the subway. We were scared because there were a lot of homeless people there, sleeping. Not young people, like old people.
Outside Nigeria.
Yes, outside Nigeria.
Wow.
Now, this is a first world country. We have a lot of, we were shocked. And we're happy too that, you mean there's also this side to this. So,
but they won't put it out there.
They won't put it out there.
But we Nigerians, we're always quick to put ours out there.
But again, the people who lead us don't even care.
Yes.
Okay, they don't even care about how our stories are being told. And we live in a society where bad news sells. That's why you see the bad news in frames being pushed. I wouldn't want to go into the politics of the industrial NGO space and all of that. But it begins with us owning our narrative, telling it from the place of power. Because in the end, people do business with who they perceive to be at the same power level with them.
Yes.
Otherwise, they'll be giving you peanuts and be giving you the crumbs.
Like the way China used to send in garbage for us.
But when our story is being owned, and there's so much you can do as an individual, for us to shape our narrative, it has to be owned at a very high level. There's so much an individual can do. So, and I'll give an example. There is a project done by George Oshodi. George Oshodi has documented, one of the first persons that documented what was happening in the Niger Delta, the oil bunkering that was happening, the injustice meted on the community by the oil company and government, and that led to the rise of militancy. He was one of the first persons that documented that story. But beyond that, I think one of the biggest things that also is associated with George Osodi is a body of work called African Monarchs.
Okay.
You could Google it. We exhibited it at the photo festival last year. So what he did was he went to different communities in Nigeria and asked the kings of those communities to dress in their most regal attire and posed them and took a fine photograph of these people. Yeah. It shows power. It shows beauty.
Shows authority.
It shows authority. It shows royalty. And because we are very chieftain in Africa, he speaks to our story. And he has exhibited that work in different parts of the world. So his work are not only being exhibited about the gas flaring, about the oil spillage damaging farms and water,
about the insecurity,
about the criminality. But here is somebody who is also saying, no, we are regal, we are powerful. Before the Europeans came, before the discovery of oil in our lands, we were a people of prestige, and it's also pushing that. But there's so much an individual can do. So imagine that being shown on CNN, imagine that being shown on DW, imagine that being shown on BBC. You understand? It tells a different story. In my trip to South Korea last month, I was having a conversation with a group of ladies who came from other countries, a Danish, one from Mongolia, one from Belgium, and the other, trying to remember her country now. We're having a conversation, and we're talking about marriage in communities in different countries. And I told them what our marriage customs are. And they were surprised.
Why?
Like, so the lady from Mongolia said she never thought that in Africa, the marriage custom and the marriage ceremony can be disorganized and respectful to their women. Those were her words. And to make it more interesting, she went to corroborate what I said with the guys from Ghana. So towards the end of, before we just left, she came back and said, oh, you remember those things you said? They actually had a conversation with the guy from Ghana, and he said the same thing.
Wow.
How we respect our women in Africa, what the mindset of an African man is in relation to African women, that it completely changed her perception. She said all she had known about us is what she saw in the media. But now she's having a conversation with one person from Africa, and this is how it has shaped her view. Yes. So there is so much you can do, but it still lies on the private sector in the media space, and of course, our government being intentional.
Our government being intentional. I hope they see this video. So what do you think are the biggest challenges we face in the Nigerian photography and visual art sector?
Funding, and not direct giving you money, but access to funds that gives you ease of acquiring equipment.
Yeah.
So a friend was talking to me 2 days ago how I think in Europe and the US they have a 60-month window. 60-month window to pay back a loan that they use in acquiring their gear. They are giving the gear and they're giving 60 months window to pay back. So if you're creative, imagine what that can do for you. Okay. But here you have to put the money on the table. Yes. You have to put 5 million, 10 million on the table before you can pick a camera, before you can pick a lens or some other equipment. Very expensive. So there has to be, so that's a huge challenge. There have to be a funding plan for it. That's one. Then two, I have always said it, we need spaces for showing our works. There is no gallery, photographic gallery in Abuja at that scales. I'm not talking about small spaces owned by private individuals. I'm talking about, so Smithsonian in the US, went to Smithsonian. Smithsonian, we couldn't finish a section on a floor. Several floors. On each floor, several sections. A section on a floor. We couldn't exhaust going around it.
Wow, it's that big.
That big. And they have about 13 of such Smithsonians in DC alone. So imagine such space where artists can show their work.
Yes.
And the show runs for a month, 3 months. People can come and see, and they coming to see, they even purchase. If not purchase, they say, okay, this artist, let me engage you to produce something for me. So there is that gap, which is a huge challenge of infrastructure for artists to be seen and engaged.
Let's go back to talking about Abuja Photo Festival. This is the 9th edition.
Yeah.
Where do you see Abuja Photo Festival in the next 5 to 10 years?
I'm looking at the next 50 years. 50 years because we're looking at ours. Ours Photo Festival is the biggest photo festival on earth. in Arles in France.
Okay.
It's tens of thousands of photographers gather every July in Arles from everywhere. I was to go this year, but I couldn't get the visa.
Okay.
So we're looking at not the Arles of Africa, but Abuja Photo Festival in its originality, in its uniqueness. Arles celebrated 53rd year anniversary this year. We want to be around for that long.
Okay.
Because the photo festival, like I tell my team, we're not doing this as a hustle. We're doing this as an institution. And no institution is built in 10 years, not even in 20. It has to be tens and hundreds of years.
Yeah.
So we're looking at a very long time. We're not going to be around doing Abuja Photo Festival forever. Either I'm going to resign and hand it over to the younger guys, or I will die and leave it and other guys will continue. Nobody's going to live forever.
Sure.
But the dream is for Abuja Photo Festival to outlive me and the guys that we started it together. So what we do every year and where I see in the short term is to, at least last year we brought in 2 photographers from Belgium. This year we're bringing 3 international photographers. So it's a build up on what we had last year. So next 5 years is to have 10, 20, 30 foreigners traveling their own expense to come and see what we're doing at Abuja International Photo Festival. Then of course it scales from there.
That's a very big dream. We hope Abuja Photo Festival continues for hundreds of years because it's actually making a lot of impact on young creatives. Now, if you are to sit with someone that looks up to you, because I'm sure you have so many people that look up to you, what's the advice?
That's a person, you're also looking up to me.
What is the advice you give to upcoming creatives who are working towards making an impact like you're doing right now?
First, be honest with your calling.
Yeah.
Be honest. I know, yeah, like I said, there is the need to survive. But on the other side of survival is greatness.
Yes.
Of course, I've been on podcasts where I actually spoke to the nitty-gritty of how we started Abuja Photo Festival, what the experiences were, and how I almost died.
Oh my God.
But how I feel now cannot be compared to the sufferings that doing Abuja Photo Festival brought. Can't be compared to. I feel great, to be part of this project.
Yeah.
So everything that I experienced that started us it's paling in comparison, to the gratitude I feel to be part of this. So what I would tell young people is this: be true to your calling. Be true to your calling. Be honest to your calling. When money is not coming in, hang in there. Money will catch up either at the 5th lane or the 50th lane. Just hang in there. I see. So when we did the first photo festival in 2017, after Don Baba's class, he asked all of us in the hall to come out to take a group picture. I still have the photograph. Anytime I look at that photograph, I see about 10 or 15% are actually still practicing photography till now.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Some picked up the camera as a trend. Photography is trendy. Let me jump in. Some picked in that, okay, why I just finished NYSC, or while I'm waiting to go for NYSC or to go to law school or to get a job, let me pick up the camera.
Yes.
I see those faces, and I know how many of them are still actually practicing photography. Very tiny. And that tiny group of guys who are still practicing photography now are doing very, very well. If you walk the mile, you wear the crown.
If you walk the mile, you wear the crown. Let me write that down. That's very inspiring. Stick to it. Sometimes when things are not going, you're not getting clients, you feel so discouraged. I feel discouraged sometimes, but then this word we stick to my head. Be true to your calling. Thank you so much, sir, for coming on this set with me. It was nothing short of amazing. Sitting one-on-one with Mr. Osaze is always an opportunity to learn and see things from different perspectives. I hope you learned a lot, because I did, and I can't wait to attend the 9th edition of the Abuja Photo Festival. So if you've not registered, go and register now before it's too late. You get the opportunity to see different people. You get the opportunity to learn from top photographers and creatives in the industry. This is One on One with Aza TV. My name is Favor the Big Auntie, and I will see you on the next episode.